Hello, in this video I will describe the research project of the poster that I will present in the 2022 Medical Imaging Conference. Cone Beam Computed Tomography plays a fundamental role for an adequate patient's positioning for an image-guided radiotherapy treatment. The main factor that reduces the quality of CBCT images is scattered radiation, which is caused by photons that interact with matter via Compton effect. In these interactions, photons change direction, but they can still be identified by the image detector array, causing noise in the projections, which is translated into stricken or copying artifacts in a CBCT reconstructed images as shown in this slide. Several methods have been developed for scatter corrections. The gold standard is Monte Carlo-based methods, however, they are computationally expensive. This project focuses on the development of a deep learning method trained with Monte Carlo generated data to produce a fast and efficient way to correct CBCT images for scattered radiation. A Monte Carlo framework of the kilovoltage and megavoltage imaging system of the TrueBeam Linac was generated based on an EGS NRC code. We separate the primary and the scatter component of CBCT projections for a water cylinder with inserts of cortical bone, dense bone, soft tissue, and lung, and for the thorax of a mouse generated by the Duke University. An iterative scatter correction method based on the FDK reconstruction and fast Monte Carlo simulations of low-resolution voxel models and sparse angular sampling was used. The Monte Carlo simulations used variance reduction techniques, and the optimal parameters were determined via grid search to maximize the efficiency. We developed two convolutional neural network architectures, the UNets, which initially were used for image segmentation problems, and the Generative Adversarial networks, GANs, that are used to generate synthetic data. We trained these networks with a set of pairs of Monte Carlo generated images so that our models can receive a projection produced by primary and scatter photons and learn to identify the scatter component. Furthermore, we trained the model separately with projection of only one phantom or with both phantoms. The validation loss became as low as the training loss quicker for the first case. Finally, we trained a unit with one phantom and used transfer learning to train another model with the other phantom. This strategy reduced training times by a factor of 2. In this slide, on the left, we compare the scatter components of a random projection of the cylindrical phantom. On top is depicted the projection predicted by the Monte Carlo iterative method, and at the bottom the one predicted by the trained unit. On the top right corner, on red and blue, we see the profiles of the images of the left. For comparison, we also included in green the equivalent profile for a projection predicted by a generative adversarial network, GAN. The noisiness in the Monte Carlo predicted images is due to statistical fluctuations. UNets do not capture these noisy behaviors, as we can see in the profiles. That makes them more suitable than GANs to generate scatter-free images. On the bottom right corner, profiles of 3 log norm projection of the cylindrical phantoms are depicted. These projections are obtained by taking the natural logarithm of a pixel-wise ratio of a blank scan to a given projection. In blue is represented the log norm projection generated by total radiation, in green the scatter-free projection predicted by the Monte Carlo simulation, and in red the one predicted by the unit. The gap between the blue and green curves shows the contribution of scattered radiation. This overlap between the red and green curves shows the accuracy of a unit for this task. In conclusion, a Monte Carlo method was developed to separate the primary and the scatter components of CBCT images of geometric and anatomical voxelized phantoms. The deep learning models were trained in about 10 minutes with 500 images for 200 epochs from Monte Carlo simulations, and the correct models are more efficient than GANs because they train and correct faster and do not capture the noisy behavior of Monte Carlo images. Thank you very much.